R.C. Sproul cites a study that revealed that the main reason that people stopped attending church, anybody want to guess? When I asked that question Sunday, people suggested, and I think maybe this is a good answer, and that is they stopped attending church because they got in a conflict with someone. And certainly in my anecdotal experience, that'd be true in a lot of cases. But the study that R.C. Sproul cites a different reason, and that is simply they got bored. They got bored. And if they got bored, I want to say they got bored because we failed to create an environment where they experience the presence of God. Because when someone experiences the presence of God, they never get bored. And I say that, we fail to create the environment. Maybe it's not all on us, and not sure who exactly to blame here. But the point I want to make is that when you come into the presence of God, no one is ever bored. And I want to talk to you today about what does it feel like? What does it feel like to come into the presence of God? And I observe it feels like two things. Number one, we thirst for God. The scripture says, as the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you. And when I find God, I find a great satisfaction of a great thirst. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. When can I go and meet with God? Psalm 63:1, you, God, are the God. I earnestly seek you. I thirst for you with my whole being. My whole being longs for you in a dry and parched land where there is no water. How lovely is your dwelling place, Lord Almighty. My soul yearns. My soul even faints for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. And so when you come into the presence of God, you find this great thirst for God, and you find this great thirst satisfied in the presence of God. But there is something else that you feel. And my guess is that many have never felt this. And I want to argue that if you've never felt this second feeling, it could be that you've never come into the presence of God. And you want to lead your people to see that if they have never felt this second feeling, they may have never come into the presence of God. So what is this second feeling? Well, we thirst for God, but also we are repulsed by God. We are repulsed by God. This dictionary defines repulse is if someone or something repulses you, they are so unpleasant that you feel slightly sick when you see them or think of them. Now I'm using a slightly different definition. Here's my definition. If something repulses you, you want to get away and hide. And I encourage you to sit down and sit in a circle when you teach. But if you don't, one of the easiest ways to teach this is just use a spatial orientation. And that is, you want to picture a place in front of your group, a few steps in front of you that you'd say represents God. And you say there's a part of us when we come into the presence of God, we want to move toward God. But if you come into the presence of God, there's a part of you that's going to want to run and hide. There's a part of you that's want to get away, and that's the part we want to explore today. One illustration of this is this oryx that I saw out in the hills the other day, and it is so fascinating to me. It so draws me toward that. I put a picture or video of this oryx on Facebook and in a couple of New Mexico Facebook groups, and man, lots of people chimed in and said, boy, I'd love to see one of those. That's so cool. Where was that? I'd love to see that, and I indeed feel that way. And I go, in fact, this particular canyon that I saw this oryx, I've hiked more there than any other place in the area, simply because of that oryx. And I've seen them about 3 times out there over the last couple of years, and I just want to go back and back and back because I'm drawn to them. And you probably feel the same way when you feel that oryx. But let me ask you another question. You want to go pet it? You want to go rub on that big that horn there? And my guess is you don't. You feel like I do. Somebody posted on Facebook when I put this video on there, they said, how close were you? And my response is, as close as I wanted to be, as close as I cared to be, because I'm drawn to it. But I'm also a little bit fearful. And that is the feeling that we want to try to explore today. C.S. Lewis says, it is always shocking to meet life when we thought we were alone. And you can think of pretty simple examples of this, where I sit in my easy chair and laptop in front of me when I do my work, and the front door of the house where my wife might walk in is behind me. And so sometimes I have headphones on, or sometimes I'm just deep in thought and I won't hear her come in. And next thing you know, she'll be standing right beside me. She'll speak to me, and boy, I'll jump like that. And when you think you're alone, and then there's life